believe
How
so.
much is that driving you on in training?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I give 110% regardless. I think every single one of my fights has led me to this moment. You know, so I lost my last fight. Well, that is my world title fight. You know, so I've always given 110% in all my training camps. And this has been no different.
Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn.
Conor Benn gonna probably stop him.
What? Really?
He gonna probably stop him, man.
Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn.
I think Conor Benn. You know, I think Rolly showed us all, if you don't get hit with the left hook and you land your big shots, that you can neutralize Ryan and his ability to land his left hook. So I think Conor Benn, you know, going in with a great game plan can be victorious.
The boxing world is buzzing around Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn, and the predictions are coming in from every direction. While both fighters believe they have what it takes to win, a large number of boxing analysts and former fighters are leaning heavily toward Garcia. Some are predicting a knockout inside 4 rounds, while others believe Benn could survive until the 6th or 7th before Garcia eventually finds the finish. But behind all these predictions, there is one major question that continues to dominate the conversation. Can Conor Benn really perform at his best at 147 pounds? Paulie Malignaggi was one of the most confident voices when breaking down this matchup. He believes Ryan Garcia has the sharper overall skill set and the greater punching power, and because of that, he expects Garcia to stop Benn before the fight reaches 6 rounds. Malignaggi sees Garcia as a fighter with the ability to make a statement, especially because this is more than just another victory. Garcia has the opportunity to prove himself against a dangerous opponent with a huge name and a strong following. For him, this is the kind of fight where a dominant performance could change the conversation around his career. The biggest concern surrounding Benn, however, is not his heart or his desire. It is the weight. Several analysts have questioned whether returning to 147 pounds could take too much out of him physically. Benn has competed at higher weights, and the process of getting back down.
I was going to ask one more follow-up to that. Just because he mentions that you are obviously the one who beat Ryan Garcia, but he says that Terrence Crawford owes him a fight. Would you like to respond to that?
Wait, owes who?
Ryan Garcia has said that Terrence Crawford owes him a fight, that he should come back because he owes him a fight, but you're the one who beat Ryan Garcia.
Why are we talking about dumb stuff now? Like, bro, like, that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That's what he said.
That's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, where does it, like, where do you even get the thought process? Where does anyone get the thought process to put that together?
To welterweight could potentially affect his energy, strength, and punching power. Duke McKenzie highlighted exactly that concern, arguing that making weight can sometimes take away a fighter's effectiveness before the opening bell even rings. If Benn struggles badly with the cut, he could enter the fight already fighting against his own body. That concern becomes even more interesting when you look at Benn's recent performances around the 150-pound range. Some analysts felt that his power did not look the same when he was fighting at that weight. Spencer Oliver pointed to this as a major warning sign, suggesting that dropping those final few pounds could be extremely difficult. In boxing, the difference between feeling strong and feeling drained can completely change a fighter's performance. If Benn cannot maintain his physical strength at 147, Garcia could have a major advantage once the pace begins to increase. There is also the question of Benn's level of
like he showed up against Barrios, I say Ryan.
Ryan Garcia looked lights out in his last fight. Simply lights out. Styles make fights. Conor, I think, has the perfect style for Ryan. Ryan wins this one.
I like Ryan.
I think he beats Conor Benn not only easily, but he knocks him out spectacularly.
Opposition. Some analysts have argued that his career progression has been carefully managed, giving him big opportunities while avoiding too many dangerous elite-level opponents. Now, however, he is facing a fighter who has already competed against high-level opposition and has shown the ability to perform under serious pressure. That difference in experience at the highest level is one reason so many experts believe Garcia enters the matchup as the favorite. Harlem Eubank went even further, describing the matchup as a mismatch and predicting that Garcia could win inside 4 rounds. Gareth A. Davies also sees this as the most dangerous fight of Benn's career. His prediction is slightly later, with Garcia potentially stopping Ben somewhere around round 6 or 7. The reasoning is simple. Ben has never been tested against someone with Garcia's combination of speed, explosiveness, accuracy, and timing. If Garcia establishes control early, the fight could become increasingly difficult for Ben as the rounds go by. There is another side to this argument, and it is important not to overlook it. Conor Benn possesses something that cannot easily be measured by statistics: an aggressive mentality and genuine fighting spirit. Spencer Oliver acknowledged that while
and you had the setbacks Rolly Romero last year, you had almost a year off, now you're coming off of a dominant victory over Mario Barrios.
Yeah.
It seems like right now you're on the track that everyone always had for Ryan Garcia, and you're almost there where you have to score a big win over Conor Benn. And it feels like to me, if you get that big win, then you're like on the rocket ship. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say that I have a clear opportunity to take over the sport for this fight. Me fighting on Mexican Independence Weekend, everybody behind me, and the type of opponent I have, it could really change my life.
Garcia may have the more proven skill set, Ben has demonstrated tremendous heart in previous high-pressure situations. That could make him a dangerous opponent even if the majority of analysts believe Garcia is technically superior. Ryan Garcia himself has made it clear that this rivalry has been building for years. According to Garcia, Ben had been on his radar long before this fight became official. The tension between the two fighters has existed outside the ring, and now Garcia sees an opportunity to settle everything where it matters most. With Ben positioned as a top contender and Garcia holding championship status, Garcia believes there is no reason to wait any longer. The message is simple: get in the ring and fight. Garcia has also spoken about his future at different weight classes. He believes he can still make 140 pounds comfortably while remaining capable of competing at 147. That flexibility could become an important advantage throughout his career. Instead of being trapped in one division, Garcia wants the freedom to move between major matchups and pursue the biggest fights available. His confidence suggests that he does not view the 147-pound division as a problem. In fact, some analysts believe it may actually be the weight where Garcia is becoming increasingly dangerous. Technically, Garcia has one major advantage that could cause Ben serious problems: speed. When Garcia is fully focused, he is capable of fighting at an extremely high level. His performance against Mario Barrios was used as an example of what happens when Garcia enters the ring completely locked in. His timing, accuracy, movement, and explosive punching can make him extremely difficult to deal with. But there is also a warning attached to Garcia. When his concentration drops, his performances can look completely different. That is where Conor Benn's opportunity begins. Some analysts believe Ben has a realistic chance of winning if Garcia enters the ring distracted, unprepared, or lacking motivation. His performances have shown that his mentality can sometimes affect the way he fights, and Ben has clearly studied those moments. He has openly questioned Garcia's toughness and has tried to turn the fight into a mental battle before the opening bell. If Ben can force Garcia into an uncomfortable fight, apply pressure, and make him work every second, the matchup could become much more competitive than the betting odds suggest. Barry McGuigan also pointed to another weakness in Ben's style: predictability. Ben is explosive, aggressive, and dangerous, but his attacks can sometimes become readable. Against a fighter as sharp as Garcia, predictable movement can be extremely dangerous. Garcia does not need many opportunities to land a damaging shot. If Ben repeatedly shows Garcia when he is about to attack, Garcia may be able to time him with counters before Ben can establish his rhythm. However, Tim Bradley believes this could be a fight that simply cannot go the distance. He sees dangerous power on both sides and believes Ben's right hand could create serious problems for Garcia. Bradley also pointed out that Garcia has previously shown defensive reactions when facing opponents capable of hurting him. If Ben can bring enough pressure and force Garcia to fight backward, he could potentially create the type of uncomfortable battle that many people have not yet seen from Garcia. Betting odds may heavily favor Garcia, but some analysts believe the gap between the two fighters is not as wide as those numbers suggest. Boxing is unpredictable, and fighters only compete a limited number of times each year. One recent performance should never completely define a fighter. Ben could be much better than what he showed in his previous outing, especially if his body has now adjusted more naturally to his current weight. Max Kellerman focused on the psychological side of the matchup. He believes Ben is deliberately targeting questions surrounding Garcia's previous performances. Whether those moments are fairly described as quitting or simply difficult circumstances, the important point is that Ben is trying to make Garcia think about them. If he can plant doubt in Garcia's mind, he may have an opportunity to turn the fight into a mental battle as much as a physical one. Eddie Hearn, meanwhile, remains concerned about Benn at 147 pounds.
He recognizes Benn's toughness, work ethic, and heart, but believes Garcia is simply too sharp and powerful at the weight.
Hearn has suggested that Benn may ultimately be more comfortable closer to 154 pounds. If that is true, then making 147 could become the defining factor of the entire fight. And then there is Conor Benn himself. Benn has completely rejected the idea that Garcia's personality or previous controversies matter. His focus is on his own preparation. He says he has given everything to training camp and believes that his dedication will make the difference. Benn does not want excuses. He wants to prove that he belongs at the highest level. Most importantly, Benn has attacked Garcia's mentality directly. He has called Garcia a quitter and insists that he can force him to break again. Benn believes their mentalities are completely different, and he is confident that his own willingness to keep fighting will eventually overwhelm Garcia.